Hey there, welcome to the Synopsis Society. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The film starts with a narration about the history of men, their circumcision and their ancient ritual of getting married before they ever got to have women in their beds. But today, it's a different story. You get to be whoever you want, have whatever you want, all on a computer screen. In the world now, you have different types of men. You have the player Zeke, who went to see a girl thinking she sent him a sexting. It was not her. You have the mama's boy Michael, who brings his mom on every date. You have the dreamer Dominic, always changing professions. His tired girlfriend left him. You have the non-committer Jeremy, whose girlfriend thought he was proposing, only to find out he bought her earrings. You have the happily married man Bennett. They're almost always white men. Then you have the happily divorced guy, Cedric. Cedric, the divorced guy in the group, is seen complaining about his ex-wife nagging and yelling, saying she needs to understand he's a grown-ass man. The group refutes his claims, telling him rumor has it that Gail, his wife, was beating him. He denies it, attacking them one by one as they laugh at his pain. They then all decide to go out. Jeremy, the non-committer, announces he has a dinner with his girlfriend Kristen, then brushes it off, saying he'll send her a text that it's not happening. She'll understand. Kristen, in the kitchen, listens to Steve Harvey on a show saying, "Until women understand men and their mindset, they will never win in the game of love." Kristen gets the text bailing out. Steve Harvey tells the audience her boyfriend hasn't popped the question because she hasn't required him to. That takes Kristen aback. The group is seen in the club as Cedric tries to woo a woman to no avail, when the player in the group steps in to save the day and gets the lady's number. Cedric, angry his wife called him to finalize their divorce, cuts off the call midway. The group, trying to cheer him up, plans a divorce party. Kristen goes to the bookstore to buy Steve Harvey's book Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Another audience question comes in. She keeps hooking up with guys who don't want a relationship. Steve tells her to stop hooking up, to the amazement of Maya in a bar listening. She has the same issues. Steve continues, saying men respect women who have standards. Just get some. Maya wakes Alex up for a coffee. Alex, a regular one-night stand guy, watches as she enters the bathroom to change her clothes. She asks Alex for a first date as he bails out, dropping a note calling her the wrong name. Maya goes to the store to get Steve's book. Candice Hall, a single mom, is watching Steve on TV as he tells an audience member who had single mom issues that she needs to introduce her date to her kids early, so she doesn't waste 6 months only to find out the guy and her child don't fit. She goes to the bookstore, fighting for the last copy, then is saved by a store attendant. Michael Hanover, the mama's boy, finds her in the queue, recognizing they went to the same high school. He teases her, calls her his high school crush. He asks her out to grab coffee. She can't. She has to pick up her son, thinking it'll throw him off. She's surprised when he asks for a dinner date instead. Kristen complains to her colleague, calling Jeremy a non-committer. She's a real estate agent living in a frat house. They've been dating for 9 years and she plans to require him to propose. As Steve says, "Don't hate the player, change the game." At the court, Jeremy brags that Kristen loves all the stuff he loves: fantasy, action figures, science fiction. In fact, they were up playing Call of Duty till 2 a.m. last night. At home, Kristen, frustrated with her interior, cleans the house, getting rid of all his toys. Cedric, after a frustrating call from Gail, schools the boys. There are 3 rings of marriage: the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffering. As Michael walks in stoned, telling the boys he met a woman. Dominic, at his job as a server in a restaurant, eyes Lauren, who's seated with Candice at a table. Candice tells Lauren, who's trying to catch up, that Duke, her son, made the league. She met a guy. Lauren, taken aback, looks surprised. She's been divorced for 2 years. Dominic's colleagues tell him Lauren is way out of his league. He rebuffs, saying there's no such thing. They then tell him she'll probably spend the money he makes in a month at the restaurant that night. Michael describes Candice to the boys, who want to know if she has racks. Candice does the same to Lauren. telling her she had a physical and intellectual attraction, and that he loves the books she loves. Lauren claims he might be gay. Michael tells the boys Candice has a child. Zeke warns him to be careful dating a baby mama. She's probably looking to tie him down as a father for her son. Michael reaffirms that none of that matters. He just loves her smile. Candice laughs that he seems mature and intends to qualify him. She shows Lauren her manual, Steve's book. Lauren doesn't like Steve's views. She's not having it. She claims Steve says she has to lower her standards to get a man. Lauren just wants her equal, 6 feet tall and attractive, who isn't intimidated by her success. Candice advises she's chasing a ghost. She gives her a copy of Steve's book for her birthday, saying all that waiting for a better man is making her bitter. Jeremy walks into his apartment, cleaned of his childish things. He loses his mind. Christy tells him they need to redecorate and get a new couch. He freaks out. She then shows him a catalogue for furniture they can get. Jeremy gives her the go-ahead to do whatever she wants, to her amazement. Alex meets Maya at the club, greets her, then walks off with other guys. Maya, renewed, says she who controls the cookie controls the game. She introduces her friend to the 90-day rule. Steve had to be on a job at Ford for 90 days to get a benefits package, so they intend to keep a guy waiting 90 days before sleeping with them. When Zeke approaches them at the bar, Maya confronts him but buckles. At the restaurant, Dominic is instructed to become a valet. Fortunately for him, Lauren is leaving. She sees him in an expensive car and drives off. He chases her down and asks her out. Lauren finally reads Steve's book. She now has a love-hate relationship with it. Dominic meets the boys, tells them he met a woman. They advise him to lie to her about having a job. Jeremy returns home to find his apartment transformed by an Italian designer. Maya prepares for a date with Zeke. Dominic goes on a date with Lauren. Maya requires Zeke to open the car door for her. Christy asks Jeremy for his short-term goals. He's confused. Candice asks Michael about his short-term goals. He says he's looking for someone to share his time with. Maya asks Zeke for his short-term goals. He says he'd like to skip dinner and get to dessert. Lauren, in management for a media company, listens as Dominic claims he's a chef. Lauren asks him about his short-term goals. He says he wants to open a restaurant. Christy asks Jeremy for his long-term goals. He plays it off. Maya asks Zeke for his long-term goals. He's getting tired. Dominic hits it off with Lauren. Michael wants Candice to meet his mother. She wants him to meet her son, Duke, who comforts him. Maya kisses Zeke. He tries to follow her inside, but she sets the rule. He can come up after 5 dates. Dominic wakes Lauren up with a meal. Zeke complains to Cedric about Maya forcing him to open car doors. Dominic comes in victorious. He got some on the first date. He's worried. She doesn't know he doesn't have a job. Michael tells his mom about Candice. She asks him if he really wants to date a single mother. Jeremy meets the boys at the bar, complaining that Christy redecorated. They figure something isn't right. Michael gets along with Duke. Candice proposes they double date. At a corporate event where Lauren works, Dominic is on a contract job as a server and gets caught. Candice meets Michael's mom. She feels threatened immediately. Candice discovers he's a mama's boy. She consults Steve's book. Zeke is finally invited in. He makes his move, gets rejected. He plays some music to lighten the mood, but ends up getting coffee. Cedric is always at Zeke's apartment as Zeke complains he only got coffee. Lauren complains about Dominic admitting he's a valet. Honest Dominic tells the boys he's proud to be honest. Candice informs Lauren that Michael is a mama's boy. The boys finally go on Cedric's divorce party. They all talk to the girls, and then discover their vocabulary is all the same. Until Bennett tells them it's vocabulary from Steve's book. They find the book online and decide to go get it. Michael goes to his mom's house and finds the book. He calls the boys, and they discover Steve Harvey is a traitor. Now they have a war plan. They decide to retaliate. Michael gets the chance first. He confesses he's a mama's boy because his father died. Candice caves. Jeremy tells Christy he accepted a new job. She's excited and offers him sex on their new couch. Dominic plans to be a man with potential to build his restaurant. Dominic offers Lauren a rare wine, serenades her with a rooftop dinner. She finally caves. As Jeremy tries to convince Zeke to play along, Zeke is tired of the game. In an attempt to end the relationship, Maya asks Zeke out. They meet Zeke's old friend, who introduces his lady. Zeke is forced to introduce Maya with a title, his girlfriend. He almost gets the cookie as Maya snaps out of it. Michael goes on a date with Candace and Duke. Christy finds out Jeremy didn't apply for the new job. She's disappointed. A valet brings Dominic's car as she watches in amazement. A classic man walks up. She recognizes him. James, who's finalizing his divorce, asks her out. Candace finds out Michael was at his mom's house, contrary to what he told her. She then invites him to meet her family. He bails, saying he made plans to take his mom out. She's pissed. Maya sends Zeke's music to her uncle, and a record label wants to meet him. He confesses he loves her and opens the cookie jar. She then finds Steve's book in his drawer the next morning. She flips out on him. Candace picks up a call that says work and finds out it's Michael's mom. She can't compete with his mother. She sends him out. Lauren meets up with Dominic. She helps him meet an investor, then informs him she reconnected with an ex-boyfriend who moved back to LA. She needs some space. Lauren now just wants to be friends. Dominic flips out and leaves. Jeremy gets back to the apartment and finds his toys. Christy has found the book and his plans. The boys meet. All their relationships have imploded. Duke is unhappy, Michael is unhappy, Jeremy is unhappy, Christy is unhappy, Zeke has lost his mojo, Maya is sad. Dominic finds a food truck. The boys meet. Jeremy announces he finally sent his resume out and got the job as a senior designer. They tell him to call Christy. Bennett has to go. He has to cook. They oppose him. He says he has a wife and has to go home early. They cheer to freedom. Cedric starts to rethink. He excuses himself to beg his wife. He tells her he's coming home. Gail forgives him and tells him to come home. He runs home, leaving the boys, and now they all start to rethink. Michael goes to his mom to set her straight. He has to be with Candace at her family reunion. Jeremy goes to Christy to tell her he got the job, then proposes. Zeke goes to a bar and starts to sing the song Maya loves. She runs off, and Zeke does the chase, telling her he loves her. He's never said that to anyone in his life. Michael goes to the reunion. He announces to the whole family that she's the #1 woman in his life. Lauren is going on a date with James. Candace calls to tell her she's going to Dominic's food truck opening. James on the date is bragging about his success non-stop. Lauren rethinks her decision. At Dominic's business opening, Lauren jumps the queue and is confronted. She ends her date, shuts him off, and enters the truck. She wants Dominic back. She apologizes. He forgives her. The guys watch and cheer. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to encourage us to create more content.